there's always the opportunity that when the team would see that on, or rather when the enemy team see that, they can just move off for Winston and go on to Reinhardt because they know that they can just rely on that consistent shield barrier to basically negate the presence of Soldier until that barrier goes down. And when you are effectively out of the running for that long, it can make you a far less effective DPS than one, say, like Hanzo or like Ashe, who can try and circumvent that barrier via different means such as increased verticality through coach gun or through dynamite or by leaping around as Hanzo.
Yeah, Soldier's not in the best place. I think Ashe, honestly, more often than not, especially if you have like sick aim, is just a better Soldier right now. It did look like they were going for something rather cheeky, Bermuda. They were potentially using that sim to teleport, something we saw actually earlier on yesterday, using that sim to teleport up onto the high ground. A little bit of scouting though from Hypnot on the ball. They're going to see that square one on the defense are going to run that 3-3 with the Moira.
Quad DPS from Bermuda.
Oh,
Square
boy.
one. Oh, that was the worst possible pick. This means go time here for Bermuda Jaws. They're lacking a whole lot of healing, and Square one might just decide to give this up now.
That armor pack's going to have to get used on the tank in dire straits. Oh, no. It's all over, Harry. Golf goes down as well. Angelic falls, and Hot Date just giving himself to the ult banks of Bermuda, just sitting on that point. Big Al as well, just trying to stall for as long as possible. Carter with the opening pick, the headshot on the Moira, instantly ending that first push.
Carter evidently stole his name from cartographers because he knew exactly where on the map that Moira was going to be, sitting at a cheeky orb but receiving a headshot in return. And it looks like Ultraviolet is actually going to stay on the Moira now, but has very little ultimate charge. When you play the Moira, you rely on how quickly you can get that Coalescence, but because you weren't there for the first fight, you now need to try and get that in the second, but Bermuda have control.
Oh, Hot Date. 1v1 in midair against Guru. Does block out a couple of shots, but Guru has now got that rocket barrage. Lands it straight on top of the shield. Hot Date used those thrusters to get close to him. Dove takes him out in midair just with the left plate, but Carter is going to pay blood for blood as Big Al ends up going down as well. Ultimate Weapon 2 finding Ultraviolet for the second time. She has been taken out at the start of the engagement.
Dove's going to get caught out there by the Dragon Strike, the perfect pick. He was full energy as well. And now Big Al's returning. He's almost got the rally, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. He's been hacked. He's not going to be able to use it.
He can't use it now. He's going to have to wait out just a little bit. A final Coalescence comes out to try and save the point. Guru went down earlier on, but is able to actually reconvene with the rest of his team onto that point. The mines have been laid down also by Hypnot. Not too effective as the Ryan was able to clear out most of it. The EMP on the back line doesn't manage to kill catch Hot Date, in fact, so he's going to be able to protect his support. Man advantage for Square One at the moment as Rally has been used as well.
Oh no, OG.
Running for the spawn. OG had nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He ends up going down. Ultraviolet gets a little bit of revenge on Carter too, but Bermuda, they still got a healthy time bank and secured 2 ticks as well in that initial push.
I feel Bermuda could have taken that if Guru used his barrage in an area where there was more potential for a resurrection after he got picked off. Unfortunately, he was directly above the enemy team, and he was trying to get the most DPS down, but it did mean that when he was picked off by a long-range plasma mortar coming through from Dove, that he really could not be rezzed up by OG. I could see OG was basically pining. He was seeing if he could get it. And also when Hypnot laid down that minefield, he laid it down in an area where there was a lot of vertical interference with the pathing of the mines. Right, then very few of them actually ended up on the ground. The load were actually floating up in the air, where Square One weren't going to go because they don't have the verticality.
Well, Square One doing a good job of holding that tab key. Able to see now that Bermuda switched off the Pharah. Well, Dove for a second there was hogged to maybe counter it. However, he's switching over to the Xayah instead. Hot Day has that self-destruct. They got support ultimate coming online as well in that sound barrier, as well as that shatter being available. Bermuda going for a clean push though. They did switch up their composition to 3-3.
You see OG here staying high. He doesn't want to get caught out by that Earth Shatter. Job's getting aggressive to try and call Hypnot's bluff. He wants to lay down that Shatter at any moment. That Angelic staying up. Guru's up in the high ground.
He went so low, Harry. He got Hypnot got sped boost straight into him. Self-destruct into the back line. Only kills Hypnot's shield. Nothing for Hot Date so far, but Ultimate Web ends up going down. A 1-for-1 trade, in fact, as Angelic falls as well. Spawn advantage still for Square One, as Job's going to be able to come back rather soon with that Shatter.
Repair back's been used.
His like for like in Carter 2, and that rally just sees the rest of Bermuda off.
Carter there got way too aggressive. Coming in behind him was Big Al, managed to get the stun. Oh, that's a lot of damage. But yeah, like, Carter went a little bit too aggressive there. He did think he was in behind Hypnot, but Big Al was just hiding in the wings, managed to get that stun and the whip shot onto Carter, remove all of that charge, and Carter may be a little bit ahead in terms of a Graviton Surge charge right now, but Dove's going to be able to keep all of his energy. Carter's going to have to rebuild that again by using his projected barriers, and that does mean that if he uses them to gain energy, they won't be available to counter out any incoming aggression.
Well, a couple of ults for Bermuda. Got both tank ults online, that Shatter and the Grab. The Grab gets thrown out by Square One. A bit of a zoning grab. Hypnot actually donates into him, so it doesn't actually look as bad. They still have that shadow available for Joel, but Hypnot laces out first. 3 people hit the floor, as none hit the floor for Bermuda, as it was completely blocked by Hypnot. A Graviton Surge in the back line as 4 people get swallowed up. The Self-Destruct on top of their heads finds one as Angelic goes down. Pizza Demon killed Hot Day also, and another shadow from Hypnot does end the life of Big Al, who was trapped on the sidelines. 1 tick was all they needed, and Bermuda are going to find the second point.
And when you look at Ultima Wet there and the kill feed, how he's always paired with the Discord Orb in the assist category, you know that Ultima Wet is definitely listening very hard to these shot calls. And that's a great sign for Bermuda that Pizza Demon is definitely making the effective shot calls you need in these 3-3 versus 3-3 brawls, especially at the end of Assault. You all need to be on the same target. You can't afford to mess around, because every second you lose where you're not concentrating your DPS is another second where the enemy are closer to respawning and retaking the point, just like we saw on that first attack.
At Square One's turn. 2 minutes and 55 seconds in the time bank, Harry. That's pretty good for Voskaya. Voskaya is definitely one of the maps where it can take a fair while to actually find those, 2 to 3 team wipes in order to actually push people off the point to actually cap the entire thing. So that's pretty impressive considering their round, the map previous. Square One, however, are setting on match points still, Harry. They do feel pretty good and happy going into this. Are they going to pull out something cheeky, or are they just going to stick to 3-3? 3-3 has been the name of the game, and you can tell they've been practicing it a whole bunch, because their ability to track cooldowns, especially like amp speed and just making sure they catch out Bermuda when they do run into their own, it's just been second to none.
Well, I'm going to give you guys a little reminder of what we saw yesterday here from Square One. You can see Joel hasn't picked his hero yet. I think he's going to come out with the Symmetra. We may see the attempt at the Sleep Dart onto a Scouting Diva, then the Sleep Dart from Ultraviolet, and then a hook from Biggle. Does look like Guru did watch the VOD yesterday, doesn't want to be falling for that this time. You can see Joel is going to put out that teleporter, will put the enemies up onto the side, and now he's just going to swap back onto the Wrecking Ball, and I wonder if he'll actually stick with this. Might be an interesting little variant. No, he's actually going to go on for Reinhardt. Doesn't know what he wants to do at the moment. Dove went out scouting.
Well, they're all switched to 3-3 now. Dove was like, maybe I'd play Sombra, but no, it was just scouting just a little bit.
Please, guys, please let me play Sombra.
Running to 3-3. You're not Buds, unfortunately, I'm sorry.
You ain't Buds, but you are moving on to a point. Joel Fair gets a little boop to dissuade him from moving forward, but now he's got the presence, and Hypnot's going to be forced to come down and contest him.
They're going to put themselves on the point. Pretty good positioning right now from Jove, just forcing everybody back around this corner. Doesn't mean it's super easy for the damage to come through from Dove, just that splash damage from the Plasma Mortar raining on a couple of members per time. Him not up to 60% on that Earth Shatter already. Hot Day trying to contest Guru up on that box as well.
And you can see that Guru consistently uses his boosters to try and knock back Jolf and expose those people next to him to fire that may not make its way around the shield otherwise. Look at the angle Pizza Demon has. Wow.
Nice double kill as well coming out from OG.
Damage.
Pizza Demon left completely alone up on the high ground. Was able to run death from above. Didn't have to worry about anybody attacking him. And he's actually going to net himself a Transcendence. Also, 30% ahead of Ultraviolet too.
And the thing I was talking about with Guru, always knocking back Jolf and making sure that the shield moved back, was also that Hot Day had to use his boosters to disengage so he doesn't feed over additional ult charge to Carter when he's exposed behind that shield. And if he uses his boosters for that... Oh no, Hypno, what were you doing?
What are you doing there? He's inspecting a forklift. You haven't got a driver's license for that, my son, I'm afraid.
Not time for your part-time job.
OG is wondering what happened to the rest of his team. Well, they kind of fed. You also had 6 ult. So, I don't know what to say. I'm gonna be honest.
Hypnot the forklift inspector. I want to see a Twitter name change by the end of the day. Well, it's going to be 6 ults versus 5 ults here. Bermuda will have a spawn advantage on defense. There's no way they're going to be able to get back here. This one's going to get fast, Jaws. Limber up your lips. It may well go full Rap God. With the amount of ultimates we are going to see in this next fight. There needs to be pressure onto shields here from both the teams. Hypnot hasn't even brought his up yet. Doesn't want to give away any of that shield health for free. Meanwhile, Jov's going to move in on his own. Dove's going to move down to try and keep him company. But moving into an army of Bermudas.
There's the barriers actually going down. The Transcendence will match the Graviton Surge as the self-destruct goes high in the sky. That Shatter does end up missing coming out from the side of Bermuda. Another self-destruct launched in from them as well. Doesn't find anybody. Another Shatter goes straight into the shield of Hypnot as he manages to block it up. A Transcendence to keep Jolf alive is this engagement. That's a perfect pin into the backline, and a swing of the hammer actually nets him 2 kills. Guru's mech going extremely low, trying to peel for the support. They're planting themselves on the point now, Harry, as Square One are taking no prisoners.
Jump getting value with a Reinhardt. We see Guru up above, trying to keep it contested. Only has a little bit of health to play with, but he's been dived by the Lucio and the Diva, and everyone else trying to come in through main.
Guru's mech already dead, and Guru himself is going to soon follow. The rally coming out from Square One and a Graviton Surge to actually hold them all in place. Peter Dean used that Transcendence rather desperately as Hypnot actually lays down the Shatter. Finally, they able to recontrol the point as Hot Date just flees, ends up just dropping himself in the drink. Bermuda do sacrifice an entire tick there. They did both use, by the way, 12 ultimates in the engagement. That's only a minute gone, though, however, from Square One's time bank.
That was an expensive tick, Jaws, but Hypnot really opened that one up, charging into the Graviton, managing to get Angelic, who didn't actually die. He was actually left with 3 health because he had the rally armor on him. A quick swing put him away, though, and then without the speed boost, it was all about Bermuda being able to control the tempo of engagements using OG's own speed boost. And now we see both of these teams coming up towards a lot of ultimates, but Dove's going to open it up with Graviton, and there's a self-destruct.
No time was wasted. Self-destruct comes in. Hot Date again with a 2-piece and killing Guru's mech. Time and time again, Hot Date is stepping up to the plate. They put themselves on that point, use that sound barrier as well to make sure they are a full 6 for the rest of Bermuda. Are going to have to go in for the touch. Peter Beamer manages to get there in time. Hypnot gets booped out by Hot Date though, and Square One end up capping with a superior time bank.
May not have worked out, but OG there with the sandbar was a little bit late, landed about half a second after the Diva bomb exploded. Maybe he was trying to ensure the self-destruct would coincide with the usage of the sandbar, because the extra 750 overshield does mean that more tanky characters who would be boosted to over 1000 HP would actually survive, and potentially then be healed up by a second support ultimate if you have it to invest. But mistiming there from OG means that Bermuda were blown away like sand in the wind from their wonderful isle.
Scattered to the 4 winds as soon as that self-destruct here. Hot Date. Well, I did see a comment on Reddit about how he's an underrated Diva player, or people think he's underrated. I don't think you can really say that anymore. I think he's proved himself, at least over the last couple of days already, that he is one Diva player you do not want to mess with. They've been getting off these Graviton Surge combos just time and time again, as well as those just vanilla self-destructs as well. Hot Date is just absolutely on fire. Him up, by the way. Bermuda are going to be in the offense first, of course, as they have the lesser time bank. 2 minutes and 55 seconds in theirs. Square One, just with a 30 seconds extra, or 40 seconds, in fact. 3 minutes and 36.
All right, guys, eyes on Ultraviolet. Let's not see the same mistake come out again. You can see Carter's there on the Widowmaker, ready for that jump shot. Will Ultraviolet get caught out when he brings out this early orb?
Nope, because he is standing behind a wall, Harry.
Not this time, Carter. Not this time. But Carter may actually delay his jump shot here, waiting for Ultraviolet to move. You can see Guru is actually going to be able to feed back.
There he
Carter
is.
isn't going to make the shot.
He hit the roof, so Ultraviolet doesn't go down first this time around. Nice Sonic Arrow actually onto the Mega Health Pack room there to make sure they can reveal everybody. Quad DPS, of course, though, Harry. Ultra Web already taken the high ground, and they're going to step onto the point too.
Hypnot's going to have a value there. Job's going to move forward, but not really much for him to do except hold up that shield. Hypnot's going to get the knockback, and he puts Starve off the point.
Oh my god, that's not what you need. Jolf gets hacked as well, so he has no shield to actually protect him. Does manage to scurry back to the Mega Health Pack room to receive a little bit of healing. They do forego 1 tick and potentially a second here as well. It does end up going over to Bermuda, as they are still on the point with high ground advantage. No one is touching them, not even Angelic. He's too scared to actually come up against Ultra Web. Ultraviolet ends up going down, and Guru activates that Rocket Barrage straight on top of the Diva, destroying the mech.
Look at how Hypnot continues to rotate using this grappling hook to make sure that not only is he doing a little bit of damage with it, but he's also stopping people from being able to contest the point. And it's just, oh, it's going to be a killing frenzy, Jaws. I can't bear to watch.
Oh, Jolf shield's going low. Ultimate Web finishes him off. Big Al as well going down. Angelic's still alive somehow. I think they were all meleeing him at the same time.
For healing orb.
Dove attempts to get a little bit more time on the points, but he ends up translocating right the way back to his spawn. Will be Emphasize used as well, so they know exactly where they are. And look at this ult bank coming online.
Jov changed over now onto the Arrester, wants that persistent shield, but against 3 DPS or 4 if you count the Sombra, it's not going to last very long. There is the Dragon Strike and the Pile Driver as well.
As well to knock everybody up to make sure they can't really move. No one goes down just yet, and the Coalescence is opened up, as well as those mines being planted onto the points. Bermuda are going to cement themselves there for the time being as Ultrapilot goes down once more. There will be Carter just firing from the back line and now up to square one. They are in the driving seat right now. They have to be able to touch this point in order to get back in. A boot back onto Hot Day to make sure they gain a little bit of extra percent, but a beat will surge them forwards.
Dove didn't get the Sandbar. He's having to be very, very careful right here. Guru's above with a barrage and he rains it on down.
Hot Date's Meg gets completely destroyed. He's going to have to go crazy on the Baby Diva, but Carter takes out Dove. Jolf's going to go down as well. 2 ticks and only 60 seconds now remain for Bermuda. Big Al is going to fall as well. No one is touching Guru in the air. If they're not careful, he's probably going to get another ultimate. Only 50% of the way there. Dove just stalling out for a little bit more time, as well as a second lot of mines coming through from Hypnot, pushing everybody away.
There are just too many directions in which to look, Jaws. You look above, there's Guru and OG, and occasionally Hypnot. You look on the point, and there's this mad hamster who somehow managed to construct a mechanical death trap. And then you look to the back, you're looking at double snipers, so you don't even know where to look for the Sombra. It's so hard to make these shot calls as to how you're going to defend that. Bermuda overwhelming not only the point with damage, but the minds of Square One as well. You've got to get in their head. You've got to strain their communication structures.
Just cannot get that Sombra out without a McCree. She's just too slippery. Plus, like you said, there's just too much to concentrate on too. Hot Day, you could see he did try and block out most of the rocket barrage with the defense matrix, but then he kind of weaved away. I think his defense matrix maybe ran out of juice, and his mech ended up dying as well. So there was nothing he could do after that. And as soon as Hot Date's gone, the rest of the team did really fall apart because there was nothing to contest that far in the air.
Absolutely. I would have actually liked to have seen a swap over onto a Widowmaker in the emergency just to try and deal with the aerial threats, because I don't think the Sombra really achieved that much. You were trying to get a hack onto Hypnot there, so he wouldn't be so much of a menace, but I think the emergency Widowmaker would have been the right call there for Square One.
3 minutes and 36 seconds there, Harry. Isn't the time bank for Square One? Bermuda just make sure they hold on first or hold on second in order to net themselves with the win and force Square One onto that 4th map in order to potentially secure the series for themselves.
Dove caught out with that stealth check. This will often come through from the Divas, given the need to not reload, and the wide spread of the pellets easily can catch up the Sombra if the 1 damage required to make her fall out of stealth. Ultraviolet gets hit from long range with a fire strike, gonna have to get a bit of healing there as Jolf moves onto a point. Hypnot's gonna make the rotation, shield versus shield, man to man, staring down across Volskaya.
Hot Day and Guru just battling each other out. Looks like a stage from a fighting game up in there. 2 divas just micro-missing each other and then using that defense matrix. Big Al just shoving the Lucio off of the point. Hypnot at the moment is going to be able to secure his team 1 tick. Square One are going to be able to secure 1 tick as they force Hypnot away. 2 ticks have been acquired also now as Guru's mech does fall over. Hypnot does have that Earth Shatter, potentially wants to take the next point though. They've been capped the whole time. They pushed Bermuda away so far, and 3 minutes are now on the board for Square One to cap second.
Jolf's just making a sprint. He's channeling in at Usain Bolt. He wants to get to that point before Bermuda on the defense cam. They got the rally as well. They're already here, Jaws, and Bermuda only just come out of spawn. It's got to be Hypnot. He's got to hit the shatter to make this work. Otherwise, Square One may well have the fastest cap we've seen.
There's his self-destruct, Giganti combo coming in, but it's actually not even a C9. You just get grabbed off of the point. Then you have to look the other way for the self-destruct. Square One, with the perfect placement of the Graviton Surge, holds Bermuda before they're able to touch. And they end up taking it to yet another round. Courtesy 20 seconds have been added to Bermuda's time back now. 1 minute to attack with.
I don't mean to keep harping on this, but Bermuda and objectives, man. What is it?
Okay. Allergic to the objective.
Evidently, there are no objectives in the Bermuda Triangle. This is entirely alien to them. Well, we'll have to see if... I'm looking lost as well after that particular attack. I don't know how that happened. But I will give you some insight as to why it happened. Square One there, like you pointed out, there were these duels between Hot Date and Guru on the top. But what we actually saw was that Bermuda was so keen to allow Guru to win those duels against Hot Date, but they gave the Harmony Orb they gave a Harmony Orb to Guru, and they put the Discord Orb on Hot Date as well. They wanted every advantage in that Diva duel to make sure they couldn't leverage the high ground. But Square One knew this. They knew that they would have so much invested from Bermuda onto Hot Date. So what they did is they waited for those investment resources to be used, and then they rounded upon Hypnot with their own Harmony Orb on their Reinhardt, and gave the Discord Orb to Hypnot as well. So they were constantly winning out the main tank battle while sacrificing Hot Date's health to do it.
Sneaky beaky from Square One, Harry. They're just hiding around this corner. They know Carter is going to be on that Widowmaker. The quad DPS offense. So they're going to play a little bit more in the face. Pizza Demon does get to the back line, however, on the Sombra. Goes undetected for the time being. If not, jumps in with a Wrecking Ball. Doesn't want to go for the pile driver just yet. Stuns from the Brig. Will end his life pretty quickly. Pizza Demon now on the point, Harry, trying to get some capture percent. They're not going to be able to get one full tick, though, as Square One do round upon him.
Crab, Bermuda found the objective Crab, and so has Hypnot. Entering with a pile driver won't be enough damage, and he's going to have to decontest here. Moves around again with those extra shields, but Guru's taken it down.
Just solos him out in the sky before he even hit the ground. Hot Date had already killed him. Carter ends up going down as well to a pin onto Yolf. OG is just wondering, like, who do I heal at this point? I need to res somebody. I got the E-key ready and waiting, boys. Ultimate Wave gets jumped on. Hot Date finds himself another kill. The Dragon Strike was earned, but just gets sunk actually into the floor. So that didn't really go anywhere either. Pizza Demon's dead. OT ticks through, and Bermuda forfeit the first point. Is Square One now only need 33% in 3 minutes to secure the series.
Yeah, it seems like there was definitely a change in tactics there from Square One on their defense to deal with Bermuda's potential to overwhelm the comms. And the reason that they did this, like we said towards the end of the last attack on second point, is that Bermuda was so keen to overwhelm comms, and that was one of the main assets that they had, one of the main advantages of that composition when attacking. So instead, Square One decided they weren't going to allow Bermuda to really control the tempo of the engagement. Their comms were going to be clean and clear so that they could make their own engagement and make that composition fall apart before Bermuda could create the chaos in which those high DPS compositions thrive.
Trying to catch him. I've got Carter was ready, man. He was ready and waiting on the Widowmaker to find the single pick that they needed. A little bit too smart after Ultraviolet get caught out first. But now 3 minutes remain for Square One to secure the series 3-0. Obviously, we'll play the fourth map regardless, but a win in the series is looking very good for Square One right now for their record as well. One of these teams will end up with their first defeat today. Right now, it's looking in favor of Square One, but that could all change. This could potentially be a draw.
Yeah, but Square One still want to get out of this weekend going 8-0. That would be a show of dominance, and well, maybe it'll work out for them. I do believe this is actually a slight rematch. Bermuda are the renamed Mirage, who did win Open Division Season 1, but Bermuda have actually had a couple of roster change-ups, and the last time these guys met, Bermuda did win those Open Division Grand Finals. Square One now looking to take their revenge, and looks like they're doing so in dominant fashion. 33% stands between them and the technical victory, but not the absolute victory.
A little bit of a different comp on the offense here from a defense here from Bermuda even. Carter's actually on the Sombra instead, channeling his inner buds. And Square One just on the standard 3-3. Going to the high ground. They know where the Zenyatta was last time. They don't want to give him that much space again, as you can see. Looking and checking to make sure no one is sneaking around.
Carter makes the attempt. Oh, Jolf, maybe a cheeky attempt at the pin.
I mean, so close. He almost went over twice. You got to be careful. Ultimate Web's going to have to be a little more careful than that as well, as they do find first blood. They trade supports though as Angelic goes down also, and that'll be Carter in the back line catching out Big Al too with the melee. He's going to find his first kill.
No, not the pin. Oh, this is terrible. This is the worst news ever, Jaws. Guru will not be able to get back in time potentially. He's almost got the Graviton Surge. He won't want to swap. He won't have his energy either. Square One have a systemic advantage if they can attack quickly. You can see they're going back. They've got a speed boost Jolfin. This is their moment. Carter's got to do something to slow them down.
Jolf almost has that Earth Shatter as well, and there are no support ultimates online for Bermuda. They're going to go in hard, and they're going to go in fast. Big O ends up going down as well. Jolf ends up getting hacked also, so he cannot just put up that shield. He is now just a sitting duck. Bermuda have just hold on for the time. But Ultimate's still building for Square One. They've got Shatter, they've got Transcendence, Harry, and Guru manages to get back to the point now. Is going to earn himself a grab in the next 5%.
Too cautious, too used to playing 3-3 with intelligence. They should have done the stupid rush onto Hypnot while he couldn't get a projected barrier from Guru. And now Guru's ready to bring out that Graviton Surge as well. Hot Date can potentially eat it. He knows exactly where Guru is. He can have his eyes on him. We'll be moving up to try and control the high ground with Carter in the background.
Caster has to go back because he was so low as well. He has the EMP. The first ultimate will be the rally being used by Bermuda. The Shatter comes out and actually finds the Lucio on the ground. He ends up getting taken out, but the EMP is going to be perfect onto 4 members that are already trapped inside the Graviton Surge. They're being kept alive, however, by Ultraviolet, who used the Transcendence in the fight as well. But a pin into the left kicks of Guru are going to find a couple of kills. A self-destruct onto the point will net absolutely nothing. And now only 30 seconds remain for Square One.
Seems like thus far Square One's gamble has paid off, but this is where we've really got to figure out how much it was worth it, Jaws. Dove is ready to use the Graviton Surge. There is no way to mitigate that. There is no defense matrix because Carter is on the Sombra. So this needs to be the biggest grab. They need to be able to make it happen in the next 10 seconds. Only 33%.
Cards are going low, but there's going to be a Transcendence Repeater Demon to keep them alive in the grab. They're going to have to touch. They are going to be able to trigger overtime as Hypnot lays down the hammer. There are 2 people now on the floor. Hot Date and Big Al end up getting back up alive, but the issue is the rest of their team are already dying. A Graviton Surge comes out again from Bermuda, and an EMP also. Ultimate Web swinging it into the grab, finds the rest of the kills, and a draw has been found. Bermuda not quite out just yet.
And unfortunately there, Jolf did pin the wrong person in that Graviton. He pinned Pizza Demon during the Transcendence, and you can't kill Zenyatta, obviously, while he's Transcending. He's invincible, but you can kill other people through Transcendence with the pin, because it does 300 burst damage, which you cannot heal through if they have less than 300 health. And if it managed to hit that pin onto someone else, like maybe the Lucio or potentially the Brigitte, then it would have been far more effective. But kudos there to Bermuda, managing to bring out the draw, but unfortunately it is still a technical victory for Square One, as there's no way that Bermuda can now score 2 points.
Yes, you are correct. I just thought that it's not actually the 5 games, it's only the 4. So technical victory to Square One, but their record has been sullied, Harry. They cannot get the straight, clean 8-0 after the weekend, unfortunately. So it will be, again, Bermuda's turn to map pick, as they were the last losers of the map. Obviously, the second map they did end up losing, so it will be their chance to pick
in my mind, they're now winners, well drawers.
Well drawers, yeah. I mean, close enough.
It's better than losers. It's not quite winners.
No, but they're drawing.
Yeah, we're going to be going over now to Rialto. I find this to be a very surprising pick because of well, the propensity for 3-3 on Rialto, and it seems like Square One consistently bringing out a stronger 3-3, but Bermuda with their Sombra isotope, where they're using the Zaya from Guru and shifting Carter onto the Sombra instead of having a Diva in there, seem to be vaguely effective against Square One, and we haven't seen Square One be able to deal with the Sombra very effectively yet. It feels like it very much challenges the communication structure that Square One currently have set up when they are faced with the Sombra, because obviously when you practice 3-3, you mostly will practice it against other 3-3 teams. It's such a universal composition, and that means that when you rely on several abilities to be available in that 3-3 composition, because they mesh together so well, and it's the synergy of these heroes that allows the composition to be so strong. If you're missing just one of those abilities, even if they're not dead, just if they're hacked, your entire composition can falter, because you make plays assuming you have a particle barrier, assuming you have a defense matrix, assuming you can make a charge to remove a shield.
Well, Sombra is their Horcrux. Unfortunately, right now, like we mentioned before, Bermuda cannot win the series. However, they can still claim a point on the board on Rialto. They will be starting out on the red side. No flips. Square One still in the blue. We're all good. I mean, Hot Date has been falling out of his mind. Again, like, if he is hacked as well in this comp, Harry, he is pretty useless. He's also a sitting ult charge bot as well, especially for someone like a Sombra. Diva's head hitbox, pretty easy to hit with Sombra's SMG, so you can build that EMP so quickly off of the Diva.
Yeah, and the head hitbox being so large does mean that you can take a more favorable engagement distance with the Sombra, because while you do suffer from quite a bit of spread with the SMG, you don't suffer from quite as much damage fall off as a Diva does, and of course you'll be doing double damage to the critical aspect hitbox that Diva has, so you don't really need to go in there and start brawling where Diva can do maximum damage, because if you're in range where there's no damage fall off for Diva, she does about 138 damage per second using those fusion cannons and doesn't need to reload, so you don't really want to be getting into a close range brawl when you know that the opposing Diva has the tracking and the aim to make it work like Hot Day does.
A little bit of a different defense again. I like the composition Square One are coming out with. They're actually going quad tank, like complete quad tank. This is very reminiscent of Season 1 EU Contenders. Going to hold up to the gate, I can imagine. They've got the Moira, obviously, and the Lucio for the speed boost. Gotta watch out, though, Bermuda. If they do knock someone off with that Hammond or with the Lucio, they're going to be rather sore losers.
Big All also has the potential to pull people off the edge into the drink, should he so desire, with the old hook and twist. Carter coming out behind him again, going to go for D-Stealth Jolf hack. This is the moment for engagement, but Hypnot gets hooked first.
Nice hook onto Hypnot. Yeah, drags him down from the high ground. Did receive a shield, however. Nice couple of right clicks from Biddle is going to end Ultima Wep's life. You can see Carter in the background, though, actually being shielded by Hypnot. Did make a small rotation. And look how much charge he's already got for that EMP. Yolf ends up going down, and an EMP has already been earned. So they could just jump out of spawn now and use it if necessary, if they feel like it's worth it. There's a boot from Ultima Wep to send Dub off of the edge, and now Hot Date and Ultraviolet just spending as much time as they can on the point to make sure they burn as much time as possible. A minute has been burned, of course, but an EMP for Carter could just seal the deal for this first point push.
See, I really like that Hypnot moved his shield over there, because we all know that Sombra attack can, of course, be interrupted by taking but a single point of damage, and Hypnot having his shield there did mean that Carter would be so much harder to interrupt while he was channeling a hack, as well as meaning that he could just stand behind the shield and plink away with his SMG to guarantee the usage of that EMP, which it does look like he's looking for. Big Al's trying to find him with a mace, though. He's in the back, Jaws.
There we go, 6-man EMP into the amp speed boost from Bermuda. Just cutting down Square One where they stand. Hot Date getting on that card to buy some time, but that was it. One ult Wonder Harry to end this first push. I'm not sure Square One are going to be able to get back in time. We've got a couple of ults available, but they're going to have to make them stick, because Bermuda, they do have the support Transcendence ult and the rally available to them.
Well, now it's a race to the support. Ultimate Angelic needs to get that sound barrier before Carter can get the EMP. They're going to open up with the Graviton Surge, though.
Yeah, Coalescence through the grab to actually mitigate a lot of that damage. Double shatter on the floor, and only one gets sent to the ground. It was Dub, but he manages to get back up in time. Double Beat also being invested into this fight, as well as that rally from Square One. Carter building up himself to another EMP, manages to find an EMP onto 5 members, sorry, as Dove went down so early on. Hypnot finds 3 kills in the fray, manages to get another shatter as well. Bermuda, where were you in the first 3 maps?
Well, apparently not playing Sombra, Jaws, but they figured out what they need to do now. That's actually a cool little play there from Square One, that they forced Carter's translocator so that they knew he would be far away and not in a position to EMP if Angelic used his sound barrier, because they weren't sure exactly of what Carter's ult charge would be, because Sombra's ult charge can often be a little bit unpredictable given how fast they can get it and how much poke they're able to do. So they managed to get a little bit of value out of that sound barrier, but the counter sound barrier from OG, it just came so much later that there was no way that Square One could stand up against it when they were all getting EMP'd.
That is a nice grab, but an even nice shatter there from Yov to make sure no damage could come through from Hypnot. He gets killed while he's on the ground by Ultraviolet, and now the rest of Square One are just clambering to actually get onto the point. Carter falls as well as Ultraviolet finds his second kill of the fight, and Pizza Demon ends up getting slammed, mushed up against the wall. Square One are able to stop the grab in its tracks without using a support ultimate.
Pizza Demon were actually getting styled on by Jolf. He didn't actually hit the initial charge, but he got the knockback, and then he caught Pizza Demon on his descent to smash him against the wall, turn him into pizza ingredients this time, I'm afraid. Jolf's going to play the corner here, but you can see that this could be very, very dangerous, because Carter can always get the flank around. He's probably going to try and get a hack here onto one of the members. It's going to be Hot Date looking for him, but can't quite find him yet.
Just holding left click. He's going to need to at this point. Carter now at stealth, just plinking away, or at least trying to. There's a rally from Big Al to start off the fight, and a Graviton serves in the back line. The Giganti combo comes out, and a shatter from Hypnot actually in the back line sends everybody to the floor. No damage follow-up available. Carter does go down, though, as they trade 1-for-1 as Big Al goes down also. Another Graviton surge into the self-destruct, doesn't find anything, but an even bigger slam coming in from Yolf once more. Hypnot finds himself in the back line once again. This fight is so messy. Both Ryan Hart's going down once more. Carter still has the EMP available, but it's all about the supports keeping the rest of the team alive. Lucio just making sure the Zaya gets up in everybody's faces. Hot Date ends up going down. Lucio goes for the reset, and Bermuda get the payload rolling again.
OG and Angelic there channeling their inner funny Astro that was all about going for the assassinations on the Zenyadas. OG went for the vanilla one, going in with a Sound Blaster. And we saw Angelic instead get the boop onto Pizza Demon, but Carter once again has its EMP ready to go. If he can catch out Jolf here, he could be incredibly vulnerable to the shatter, just like this.
Ultraviolet got caught out in the back. Shields removed, life removed as well. Beautiful EMP placement by Carter. He's just getting uncontested in the entirety of this game. This is what we wanted to see from Bermuda throughout these maps. They found Square One's kryptonite, and it is Sombra.
And Ultraviolet's been forced, man. No longer wants to deal with that Sombra. He's gone over onto Viana instead, but this does mean there's no Discord orb available. Hypnot's going to be swinging for the fence as he feels free as a bird.
Gonna be honest, not sure what to say. OG just going super ham, as always. This guy's just jumping all around the supports. It's like Square One can't really peel for them right now. Ultraviolet switching away from the Zen, in fact, going onto the Ana. He's got 30% ult charge already for that Nano, potentially going onto Dove or Jolv, but that Sleep Dart is going to have to be fairly valuable. Onto Hypnot, or just a bio grenade into the front line to make sure they receive no healing.
Jolf needs to hit. The Earth Shadow is going deep to try and make it work.
Two
People
people
will go
on
down.
the floor, Harry. They're going to use that rally, and that grenade does end up hitting. The beat comes out to make sure they survive it, as well as Angelic and Big Ol getting grabbed themselves. Square One get EMP'd as well, as Carter jumps right into the back line. OG once more taking out the supports time and time again. Hot Bait having a bit of a hot mess of a game as well, as he ends up going down on the cart. 2 minutes remain for Bermuda, and they've only got a couple of meters left.
Jolf can't go for a Reinhardt Shatter as easily as Hypnot can because there's so much less shield pressure coming through from an Ana when compared to a Zenyatta. There may well be a nano boost onto Jolf from the back, but nope, he's already there. Too late, Jaws.
Shatter not available just yet, as Jolf did lay it out. No one hit the floor as Dove actually gets nano boosted. He's going to be able to just carve through the mech. Pizza Demon going uber aggressive as a big bio grenade actually lands onto Hypnot. Still alive somehow though, as you can see Hot Day trying to find something in the back line. He survived with mid like 2 HP as Guru just takes the match into his own hands. He finds himself a triple kill. Bermuda end up getting the cap with time left in the bank.
Dove there, given Banana with a huge amount of energy, could have been dealing up to 300 damage per second with that continuous beam. But Jaws, perfect management by Hypnot, manages to hit the charge, pins him into the corner. And while the pin didn't do that much damage, it does mean that basically Hypnot could try and disengage, just jumping back with his shield and mitigate a huge amount of potential DPS coming through from that Nano. Zai, we do have a quick pause. Have to see what's going on here.
They haven't got 4 minutes left of time, mate. Don't worry. It was a little bit less than that, thankfully. Square One did hold off for a fair while, but it was all about Carter and those EMPs. He under 2 EMPs. Well, first one to start off the fight in the first point, and then during the end as well, earned himself another one. They can't really seem to deal with it whatsoever. Big Al just not there with the stuns, with the stuns and the whip shot, even just to interrupt the hacks or just to interrupt the damage coming through from the Sombra. Carter's left completely alone. Not even a McCree is being played by Square One. They need to find something else to counteract it, because if they're refusing to switch off and switch to something that's clearly just making a team fight fairly easy for Bermuda, they're gonna get run over again, I feel.
In that last little fight as well, there was also a very intelligent call from the side of Bermuda that they knew that available would be Ultraviolet's nano boost, and they knew that would be able to save Jolf if he went in too far and he needed that burst of 400 healing as well as for damage reduction. So the beginning of that fight, before anything else really managed to occur, just as the engagement was occurring, we saw Carter go into the back and get a hack onto a helpless Ana. I mean, they couldn't use that nano boost to save Jolf, and then that meant they were forced to put it onto Dove instead.
Apologies for the pause. Not 100% going on. Looked like one of the teams actually called for the pause. It's not a production thing, guys. Don't worry. No one's lagging. No one's DCing.
Ain't on us.
Okay. Ain't on us. And neither was the last time either. I'm just saying. Just saying. Is this the final map? Of course.
It's for children who are wrong.
The players that are just looking for the pause. Bermuda obviously can secure at least one map here, Harry. And it looks pretty easy for them thus far. The cart really hasn't stopped moving. Square One only won 2 fights in that engagement. Rialto is an extremely long map when you put it down to it. You're not looking for a crazy time bank, but just having a little bit extra than just OT is normally fairly decent for Rialto itself.
Here, in order to make this work against the Sombra, I want to see Dove go for some more long-range Gravitons. There's no danger of them being eaten while Carter's playing the Sombras. There's no Diva available. So that means you need to make sure the Sombra isn't the one opening the engagement with a hack or a D-stealth. You need to be able to do it yourself by going in with those long-range gravitons, which are not very characteristic at all of how you usually play 3-3 for fear of the D.Va eating the graviton. But when you don't have to deal with that D.Va, you go for long-range grab, and you can much more easily control the tempo. And this is something we talk about a lot with teams, controlling the tempo of games. And when they don't have that D.Va, that's your advantage. You can control that tempo with long-range gravitons.
No D.Va to contest hot day either.
Yeah, one of the other things that Carter seems to be doing a lot is that he's hacking Hot Date, not only so that the defense matrix isn't available and so that he can farm that out, but also so that if Carter is on the high ground, there's no quick way for someone to contest him. You have to force Angelic to come up there with those, with the skates and with the wall ride, but that takes a lot longer than a D.Va directly controlling themselves into Carter to challenge it out.
Speaking of Kai, he's just being a good guy. Looks like everybody's ready though. Asking if everybody else was okay. Maybe EMP'd them one too many times. Maybe someone's PC got EMP'd. Not entirely sure. Yeah, there you go. Hacked them too. Big. Oh, I'm not sure if you can see the chat, but it said big. No, well, Big Owl's gecko died. Yo, that's. I mean, that's a rip. I'm sorry. Doesn't look like everybody's ready though, so we're all good. Sad,
there we go.
Sad times, actually. Oh, if that's true, not entirely sure, but
I think it might be. I think it might be a meme, Jaws, my boy.
Well, if it's not, then it's pretty. Whatever. There
We're
you
back
go.
in.
You can see the time back now. 1 minute and 20 seconds, Harry. 1 minute and 21. That is for square one to play with.
Precision.
They can just get a bit extra time, but Bermuda just need to hold them. That's all
Jaws,
they need to do.
if you look at the top of these buildings in the final section, are they covered in solar panels? Because if you go close to the texture, it does look like they're solar panels.
Yeah, it does, but
I'd like to think that the future Italy is very into green power.
It does look, actually, they do look like solar panels. Like, they actually really do. But only
Like,
one building has them there. It seems a bit.
Yeah, these other ones have their own version of solar panels as well, which are gold on the other side of the spawn. Like the building directly opposite the spawn seems to have some manner of curved.
Oh, they are solar panels, 100%.
Yeah, but I'm not sure why these have a curvature. This seems like it would be very inefficient.
Don't normal
when
solar
the sun-
panels that are out in the desert have curvatures?
I don't know.
Yeah, like Nevada or whatever they have.
I thought they were all flat because a curvature would mean that when the sun's like at an inoptimal place in the sky, that they actually may shade themselves. But who knows? We'll talk about solar panels another time. Let's talk about compositions now. Sorry for the sidetrack. Square One are going to be starting off on their attack. We think their Bermuda's comp is going to be the 3-2-1, or the I'm in comp, as I named it yesterday.
I mean, he's getting it. Well, Square One now actually are going to run the Ana potentially. They are a bit scared, you can imagine, if Bermuda actually holding right up to the spawn. Ultraviolet using the Ana to make sure he can get a nice healthy nade onto the back line. But they're not going to be doing so, as obviously Carter is going to be on the Sombra, looking for the hack potentially onto Hot Date. Ooh, gets revealed by Hot Date actually, using those thrusters to a great effect. Can actually force the recall.
And with a recall force, that doesn't mean Ultraviolet has a lot more space to work with here. He's going to be moving around this corner, so he's got the long range sight line to lay down the healing. Oh, Jaws actually isn't at his computer. Okay, so Joel moving on forward. I don't know where you went, man, but right now it does look like Square One are going into the main plaza.
Something dropped on the floor, and him not also dropped as well. Ultimate Web is going to follow him also. A nano boost available for Ultraviolet now. Carter not being able to quite farm the EMP, Harry, but he is 10% away and is in the back.
Well, it's going to be Dove doing a faux front line for now. May will use that particle barrier to get himself a little bit of extra charge. Guru is actually generating this graviton much more quickly, and Carter opens with an EMP.
Really early EMP hits 5 members, and Big Al using that rally because he was not hacked to keep his members alive. 5 members now inside that grab as well. Is there going to be any follow-up? Asleep actually on the back line as Ultimate Web in a very, very sorry state.
Oh my god!
That shadow was big though as Jolf gets nanoed, hits 4 people to the ground. Ends up clearing up the rest of her himself. Square One march onto seconds. They cap first.
Well, let me just give you a quick stat. 50% damage boost with the nano boost does mean that the Shadow Air from Jolf dealt 75 damage, and OG just couldn't take it. He had less than 75 health. He had his knees broken. Ultraviolet getting a little bit frisky there, coming out with Angelic, just going to get the boot to try and deny the high ground, but he's caught out. There could be a chase coming in here from Bermuda onto the car.
Oh, Dove got shield bashed, did stun and was falling. There's the Graviton Surge and a Transcendence coming out on top of a beat. They do get naded, so that kind of makes sense. Hot Date's Meg does end up going down as well, but they use Square One end up using that beat. It gets completely stripped away though as Carter jumps in with the EMP onto 6 people.
Perfect usage of the EMP there. Angelic was not accounting for the EMP being up again. Laid down the sand barrier, and we all know shields get stripped away by the EMP due to Overwatch science. That meant that everyone lost the shields that they had. And the thing is, when you get that beat, you feel like you can be more aggressive because you have that additional health. And that means you put yourself in dangerous positions. And suddenly when that health's all gone and you're still in that dangerous position without any abilities nonetheless, that's when you really do find yourself in some trouble.
Right, look at the ultimates available for Square One. Pretty scary. They have the Nano, they have the Shatter. Yolf is going to get pinned to that wall, and Hypnot earns himself a Shatter, but a beautiful Bio Grenade is going to find 3 people. A Nano Shatter onto the ground, doesn't net anybody. However, Hypnot is still going to be able to survive with that particle barrier coming through from Guru. They are going to be able to reconvene onto the point, but the hack onto Jolf just makes him a little bit more cautious as he does march forward. Guru is in the back line, but ends up taking take a drink out of the river as Angelic does manage to find the boot, but Bermuda still continue to hold this point.
Maximum value boot right there. It does mean Guru won't be able to maintain that energy into the next fight, so he'll be starting fresh alongside Dove. He'll be able to bring out those particle barriers a little bit earlier so that he will be able to have them off of cooldown as well. Look at Carter in the back right now, just lounging around, getting himself a quick martini before he begins his hacking spree. Does have eyes on Ultraviolet and Angelic, but is deciding not yet to strike. He's going to wait a moment, going to try and go for a long-range hack. Will not get that.
Yeah, did get interrupted. Carter now running away, receives the armor pack. EMP onto the front line. 4 people hacked, but Dove still has that Graviton Surge and ends up throwing it out. Hypnot finds 2 kills though, so that grab might not be probably should have been saved, but hey ho, that's just how it goes. Hot Date ends up going down as well as he does reset himself. Has got self-destruct, but still, Square One throwing these grabs in, Harry, and just on lost fights.
At least with the usage of EMP, Angelic now knows that he is safe should he wish to lay down the sand barrier, will not be stripped away by the Sombra ultimate. A little bit of caught plasma mortar across the way does mean that Guru has this Graviton Surge ready to go. Hot Date has the potential to eat it, but there may well be an early hack. Not going to eat that.
There's the grab, the sand barrier comes out to mitigate a lot of that damage. The Nano comes in, the Shatter comes out, but no one was hit as it was completely absorbed. That Shatter definitely hit though as Hypnot sends 2 to the ground. Dove doesn't end up going down just yet, although he's falling fairly low. Yolf will be the first member falling for the side of Square One. Ultraviolet's going to follow him as he gets booted into the water, same with Hot Date. OG finding 2 boops in 1 kill feed. That'll be Bermuda continuing to hold. 1 minute and 40 seconds now remaining for Square One to secure this.
And a huge amount of value there coming out of Guru and his Graviton Surge, not only to make sure that everyone else could deal damage, but also to make sure that Jolf, when he had that nano boost, could not move forward and start swinging, because of course that's when the Reinhardt's most dangerous, with the speed boost. But if he's caught up in that Graviton Surge, you basically don't get any value out of the ultimate. That's an early EMP.
That was very early. It caught 3 people in Ultraviolet, Dove, and Yolf. And actually, Carter pays the price for it too. Gets killed on the bridge by Ultraviolet. Uh-oh, okay, so they're now moving forwards. They do have Hot Date self-destruct, so they could throw that in if necessary as well, but I don't think they're going to need to. You can see how scared now Bermuda are playing.
Yeah, they do know they do not have that 6th member that they need to try and make this work, and Carter will have to make a commute into the enemy backline if he wants to go for one of those stealthy hacks again. Dove knows this is pressuring Hypnot already, going for the grab onto him. They're trying to get that early pick.
Gigantic combo, Harry. Guru absorbs it with his shield, though, standing in between his teammates and the bomb, securing all that energy and saving their lives as well. Hot Date and Big Al, though, get their names on the scoreboard as Angelic finds the boop onto Guru. They are continuing to win these fights now, back to back, as they might just be able to catch second point. Bermuda are going to have to make a very, very long sprint in order to contest.
Well, it's guaranteed now that Bermuda, they will have a larger time bank than Square One, but the question is, will they be able to complete it at all?
Harry, Ultraviolet goes down first as Carter finds the kill. Very aggressive with Square One playing right up to near the spawn, and Bermuda, they get punished for it completely. Reset from square one now. They've got a couple of support ults and the Shatter also, but Bermuda have a wealth of their own.
And the investment here of the Graviton Surge is great because they know that Carter will be able to catch everyone out when they try and make an engagement together with this EMP, because if they're moving through this central area, there's no cover available. And Jalen's going to have to try and stay away, as is Ultraviolet, so they can both use their support ultimates respectively to counter the EMP. There it is. Ultraviolet's ready.
EMP onto Shatter. Transcendence keeping him alive. Not quite enough for Dove, though, as the entirety of Bermuda ended up focusing him down. They still have that rally available to the Bermuda, but Ultra Web going down now, and 2 Siren Barriers being thrown out was a little bit too late for him to actually save the Brig. 2 kills now for square one as they are at a 2-man, make that a 3-man advantage. Bermuda looking for the small reset here as Pizza Demon falls as well. 45 seconds remain as square one look to push to third.
I didn't quite catch it on camera, but it sounded like Jolf got hacked midway through his shadow right there. Is that something that happened? That was an excellent timing from Carter. Professional EMP, or rather professional hacking after an amateur EMP last time. Did manage to catch 5 people, of course, in the previous round, which was great for them. Guru's going to try and seal this one up with a Graviton Surge, but Hot Date's still able to eat it, potentially. There it is!
Rallies, and Hot Date gets another eat, and Guru goes down as well. Pizza Demon using that Transcendence just after Hypnot falls as well. Ultima Web falls also. Pizza Demon's dead. They got the emergency Bastion from Guru also. Make that a wrecking ball, but square one are still able to complete the map.
And this is what you give up when you give away the Diva. You give up that ability to make the clutch eats. And that also meant they were basically guaranteed to win that no matter what happened after that, because there was still the potential that Dove could come in with that Graviton Surge and seal the deal, as we saw coming in on the end as Guru tried to come in on the Wrecking Ball, which just Gravitoned away, couldn't make his way to the cart. And Hot Day could have also warded people away by putting his own self-destruct on top of the cart and ensuring they couldn't survive there without being disintegrated. So some great play there. We keep talking about Hot Day. Is he underrated? Not in my books, Jaws. He is here, and he is phenomenal.
Ready for battle.
1 minute remains for square one. So they will get their chance to attack first. Bermuda have 2 minutes and 17 seconds. An additional 1 minute and 17. They're feeling pretty good. And are they going to run the Sombra again? Of course they are. Why would you not? Carter earned 2 EMPs in the first push. Like, that's actually insane. Square one have kind of got eyes on the Sombra now. Hot Date just being a little bit more cautious when he's just randomly firing and trying to make sure he thinks about wherever the Sombra could hide.
Look at the front of the attacker's spawn here, these banners. For one on the right, the Omnic that's displayed there would make a brilliant new hero. Looks like it would be kind of like a wizard, a magey kind of thing. Throw fireballs or something.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Beautiful design.
That'd actually be so sick. It looks like a musician, maybe. I can't actually read Italian, so I can't actually read the banner. It says Galleria. I'm assuming that means, like, gallery.
Oh, wow. That's some high-level translation there, Jules.
Gallery d'Arte Omnica. So, gallery art of the Omnics, I guess. Angelica goes down, by the way, as Carter finds his skull. There'll be a 1-for-1 trait. There was Ultima Web ends up going down as well. Carter cleaning up, though, already. They do just hold firm on the car.
Hypnot creating his own modern art project there by bashing everyone into submission with his hammer. Modern art gets a little bit weird, but things are about to get very weird as well with Bermuda as they try to make sure everyone gets lost in that Bermudan triangle. Carter coming in with an early hack there will disable Jolf, who can't move forward with his shield right now, so he's going to have to make a vanilla play.
Oh, that boop almost sent Jolf into the Riviera. Not quite though. Carter's still farming on the back line, and OG actually goes down. This is a perfect time for square one to just speed boost on them. There's no speed boost to retreat from Bermuda. A shadow does land, and an EMP as well, straight on top, straight into a grab. Also, just the kill feed glowing red as Angelica and Hot Day are the only people left on the card to contest. Guru just pops off at the end. 4 kills as overtime depletes, and Bermuda are able to hold before first point.
Somehow, Graviton Surge, EMP, and Earth Shadow all became available at the same time. Hypnot made the wrong call, came out with the Earth Shadow first, could have combined that with that EMP to potentially get a lot more value out of it. But then, Graviton Surge and EMP combining does mean that basically Dove and Ultraviolet didn't have any shielding available. They were quickly disintegrated, as were the rest of Square One in that tight corridor, looking up against all the damage that Bermuda were offering. And, well, Bermuda are going to be able to try and claim this map. It would be incredibly difficult to not do so with 2 minutes and only 1 corner standing between themselves and a point on the board. And these are so important, George, because the top 5 teams in our standings will make their way to North American Contenders trials, and map wins are what count second most after overall wins.
Well,
need that differential.
Their record has been sullied, Harry. However, Bermuda still have that chance to get the point on the board, like you said. That draw doesn't count for anything, unfortunately. Although it was an extremely close match. And I'm going to be honest, if this was just a straight up, like, 5-game series, this could potentially go even longer. Just going on the fact that Bermuda are really starting to come alive on the Sombra pick.
Yeah, they are gonna come alive, but if they can claim this, they won't be losing too much of their map differential, because of course they did manage to draw on those Sky Industries as well. So they'd only be looking at like a -1, and square one for all the victory that they can claim here would be looking only at a +1 in terms of their map differential, and that means a lot for our standings.
That it does. Oh, OG. Just trying to be rather cheeky on Geoff again. He sniffed out his games though. Look how fast this payload's moving already. And you got to be scared if you're square room right now. You know Carter is somewhere in your backline right now, but the question is actually where is he? Very aggressive push as the Lucios try to actually boot the Reinhardt away. You can see Joel just a little bit on his own. Hot Day does come to the rescue with the defense matrix, but Carter's just punishing for every step he takes. Hypno already up to 80% on that Earth Shatter as well. Yolf is going extremely low. He's going to have to back off. Beautiful boot bump to Hypno to send him to the back line. The charge as well is actually going to connect with a wall, and he's left completely alone. A 1-for-1 trade as Angelic goes down as well. Yolf is just going to cement himself on this card, but Bermuda still have a minute and 30 to actually recontest, Harry.
Angelic there with the hero play, bringing Hypno into the back. Carter's going to get a successful hack onto Dove, who won't be able to use those shields to defend his teammates. Big All's going to play the front line for now, while Jove rotates to bring his shield back up to full health. There's a lot of pressure onto it still, already cracking. Hypnox doesn't have a crack on it. He's definitely got the advantage here, but that's an advantage as well.
That's a good shout out, but there's 2 people already dead. Ultraviolet claims 2 as Carter ends up going down. That'll be Peter Demon run down. Also, Guru has the Graviton Surge. They are only a meter away from completing this payload as well, but Square One continue to hold with 50 seconds remaining.
Bermuda had the pressure, but they weren't ready to get ultra-violent. Carter, however, has the key in his back pocket. 10% away now from the EMP, can strip away all the shields of Dove and Ultraviolet, demand that none of those ultimates are available. Ultraviolet here needs to hide away, needs to make sure he isn't caught in the EMP. You can see how far back he is. He wants a 5-man EMP onto the rest of his team. Well, he comes in with that Transcendence, but Carter's already come in.
Hero play. Look at that EMP, though. It's on 4 people. A Graviton and Transcendence have been used by Square One as the rest of Bermuda are caught up on top of the cart. Both Reinhardts have been traded as well as Dove just tries to scurry back to the rest of his team. Self-destruct into the back line as well, but everybody just cowers in the building. They're not scared at all. A beat to re-engage now for Square One as they get back onto the point. Hypnot is also rejoined the fight as he has priority spawns as well. A rally came out and Angelic actually got hacked during the sound barrier also. Jolf has made his way back into the fight and Hypnot only has 10% towards another shatter, Harry. This could end it right now as OT ticks down.
Hypnos already hacked, but Carter has the EMP ready to go. Ultraviolet preempts it, Jaws.
Hot Date with a triple kill as well. Ultraviolet keeping his team alive. Peter Demon with the late Transcendence is only keeping 2 members up on the cart. Another self-destruct in the back line pushes Peter Demon underneath cover and kills him off. Square One with the miracle hold on the corner manages to secure a 3-0 in the series.
Ultraviolet definitely downloaded a new update this morning and it didn't slow him down at all. Preempted that EMP by milliseconds. The second that he saw Carter start to spread those arms and tell him the lights were going out, he said, no, the lights are going on. You aren't ready for what we're bringing to the table. And that was actually a really great usage of rotating frontline from Square One after they lost Jolf. They kept people on the card at all times. They had Big Ol with the rally, and they had Hot Date with the Harmony Orb. They had Dove with his shields available too. Always able to keep that contested. Some great play from them to secure a 3-0.
That was insane. By the way, if you can't see the cards, I'm not sure if it's on stream, but Carter has 55 enemies EMP'd that entire game. There was also 91% kill participation as well from Ultima Web. Oh my goodness.
24k healing from Ultraviolet. My personal MVP just for that last fight. How well he saved that.
That was actually insane. Bermuda came alive at the end, but Square One managed to take the 3-0 regardless with just perfect positioning coming out from Ultraviolet. Plus, Hot Date again, just going just barbaric on the front line of Bermuda.
And that does mean that Square One over the course of our first weekend here have gone 7-0 in terms of maps with that 1 draw up against them on Volskaya. I do wonder if Square One versus Skyfox is maybe the match of the entire Trials tournament. I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but it will at some point because we are doing a round robin with our 8 teams.
That they will. Map number 2, or game number 2, sorry, coming up very soon also. It will be Phase 2 versus Triumph. So one of those teams will end up finding their first win today, hopefully, on either one of these sides. Triumph not doing also well against Square One yesterday. Of course, that was a 4-0 Square One's way, but after seeing this game, you can kind of see why. Triumph are hopefully going to be able to secure their first win of the series. First win of the trial, sorry. Same with Phase 2 as well.
Yeah, but they both want to secure not only their first series win, but their first map win as well. Skyfox is dominant against Phase 2 in our battle of the two relegated teams. And while they both were relegated, they have had a couple of roster shuffles that appear to have very much been in favor of Skyfox's. Phase 2 still need to get down that synergy and figure out what they're going to be doing.
Right, we're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Don't go anywhere. Game number 2 coming up soon. It will be Phase 2 versus Triumph.